In 1932, the United States government quietly began a long-term medical study in the rural South, but by the time it was over, more than 100 people were dead. Syphilis has plagued mankind for centuries, and it comes with some brutal symptoms. Anyone unlucky enough to catch the disease could experience loss of sight and hearing, dementia, and finally, heart failure. And in 1932, the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama began an experiment to study syphilis in Black American men. While there wasn't a known cure for syphilis at the time, there were treatments to slow it down, but the government researchers never had any intention of actually treating their subjects. The institute recruited 600 black men from the rural South, 399 with syphilis and 201 without. However, the men weren't told that they were part of a study. Instead, the Tuskegee Institute told the participants that they were part of a program to receive treatment for bad blood, a term for a variety of illnesses at the time. Over the course of the study, the men were given a number of intentionally ineffective treatments as doctors watched syphilis destroy their bodies. Even after penicillin was discovered to cure the disease in the early 1940s, it was never provided to the Tuskegee Institute's so-called patients. In fact, researchers went so far as to reach out to local doctors and the Alabama Department of Health to ensure none of the men were actually treated. This horrifying study continued until 1972, when a whistleblower from the Public Health Service exposed the unethical research. For many, though, it was already too late. 128 of the men had already died from syphilis. Dozens of their wives had become infected. At least 19 subjects' children had been born with the disease. All death and suffering that the government could have stopped, but they didn't. In the years after the experiment was exposed, the government apologized and gave some money to the families of the victims, but these gestures don't absolve the government of the pain and suffering they intentionally caused. And that's why it's so important to study history like the Tuskegee Experiment. Because we can't bring the dead back to life. We can't undo their suffering. But we can use that knowledge to try and prevent it from ever happening again.